talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
Now I gotta talk, we all gotta be quiet. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding.
I'm a man, I'm 40.
And now your host, Taking No Shorts podcast, Jay Grizzy.
Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Taking No Shorts podcast, episode 101. I'm your host, Jay Grizzy Green, a.k.a. Mr. Leave No Meat on the Bone.
Exactly.
Not going to do too many AKAs tonight. Welcome. Thank you. I appreciate everybody that has been watching and listening to the podcast. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, of course. Also at the bottom, Chiron, I got a personal goal to get my subscriptions up on YouTube. The YouTube channel is at the bottom. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel for all the latest of Taking No Shorts podcast, behind the scenes, extra scenes, all that good stuff. But I'm trying to grow that YouTube because I done gave Zuck a lot of money or a lot of eyes. I've contributed my pint of blood to the algorithm. Where you can find me at Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, all at Taking No Shorts Pod every Friday around 8:45 p.m. Eastern. Also on anywhere where you get your favorite podcasts, but mainly those are the video options where you can catch Taking No Shorts Pod. Glad I got that out of the way. Let me go ahead and say this off the bat because you're probably hearing a different Jay Grizzy. Your ears do not deceive you. In full disclosure, I lost my voice, ladies and gentlemen, and
bullshit.
I don't know when that happened, but I do know when that happened. If you will allow me, I wanted to say it was episode 100 that I lost my voice, but then I was going back through the edits this week, and I was just like, I didn't yell, I didn't, my homeboys tried to get me. Don't take much to get me out of my character.
Exactly.
And raise my voice on air, but
Exactly.
But I didn't do that much, and it never fails me. Just about, I say lately, and I'm a black Gen Xer, so I don't know, but lately, over the last 10 years, I keep a summer cold or some type of nasal, ear, nose, and throat thing going on every summer for the last 10 years or so. It has not failed me. I don't know what or allergy type situation. One year I had I woke up and both of my eyes were bloodshot red. And it was so scary. Like I thought I got like stung by or bit by something in the middle of the night, like a spider. I thought I was poisoned. That's how bloodshot red my eyes was, to the point. And I called out from the 9 to 5, and I was just like, "Yo, something's going on." It wasn't puffy. It was just my eyes was Beelzebub red, and so found out I had an allergy to something. Then another summer, I had like this nasal thing where you do that. Usually those happen to folks in the spring with the pollen and stuff. Me, no, it happens in the dead of the summer. I remember one year, 4th of July. That's when that happened. I had this throat pause, this thing, and I was just like, what the is going on? I said,
I'm a man, I'm 40.
Yeah, coach. I was like, and then other years that goes back and forth, eyes, nose, nasal congestion. And it's not, me and my wife used to always have this debate. Y'all can hit the comments with this. She makes enough sense when she says this. Because I grew up, of course, down south in VA, RVA to be exact.
Exactly.
804 to the fullest. But, I was always raised like in the cold weather, you cover up, not just to stay warm, but big mama, somebody said, hey, if you go out there without no coat, you playing, you sweating, you can get what? Pneumonia. Exactly. I'm not going to do the exact. Somebody, I know Marcus J hates the exactly, but, I'm not going to do too much of the exactlies. And so that's what I grew up on. That's what I learned even through science in college and high school. It's like, when it's cold weather, your nose is running, your body is sweating. You got all of these different temperatures going on. You could do that. That's going to do something to you, and you could keel over with influenza, And then I met my wife, and I told her one day, I was like, yo, it's cold outside. Why are you walking outside, or why are you wear your coat? Of course, my wife is beautiful as she is. I don't know if she couldn't find a coat to go with the outfit, but we went somewhere during the winter or the late fall. And I was like, yo, wear your coat. She was like, I said, you going to catch a cold. And she said, people don't catch colds, Jay, from not wearing a coat. Or, I was like, well, how do they catch a cold? She said, a virus. Something that simple.
Exactly.
I honestly, right then, I felt like, I got to find a drop.
That nigga's tripping.
I felt like this. Yeah, it took me so long to find the drops, but I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I want to debate that. I want to shoot that down. But yeah, so what happens in the wintertime can happen in the summertime. I get a virus. That happened during COVID. I think I got COVID in the summer. Yep, sure did. Now I remember 2020. We got COVID late that summer, our whole house. I panicked because I was aware of what. Honey, my mama told you I was a hypochondriac, so. Fast forward, though, and I woke up 2 days ago. And there is a spot in my house, there is a room in my house that gets extremely colder when the HVAC unit is running than the rest of the house, right? My office. And so my office gets colder than the rest of the house. And I was working late doing edits for episode 100. And episode 100, by the way, is out now on YouTube and Facebook at Taking on Shorts Pod. Shout out to everybody that came through. But so I'm working the edits. It was late. I turned in and I opened up because usually I close one of the vents. If I'm working downstairs and the AC is blasting, I close one of the vents because it gets cold down there. And it's hard for me to get cold. I don't do heat. I'd rather be cold than heat, And, working late, I was like, I'm tired. I've done enough of the edits. I'm going to bed, right? Late, didn't want to wake the wife up, so I fell asleep in the office. And I opened up that extra vent that, because just wanted to be cool. I was a little warm. I think it was a warm, humid. Virginia gets very, very humid at night. It's if you ever been here, it's not Florida heat or it's a unique. It's the South heat is unique. Is all I will say. The humidity really is what gets you icky. And I was sleeping. I'm a light sleeper lately, and I was in the middle of the night. I could feel. I want to say I could feel the hoarseness leaving me. It was like what was that thing in the Green Mile where open the mouth and stuff fly out? That's what it felt like. It felt like stuff was that's a Gen X reference.
Exactly.
It felt like something was going in, and I probably, because I snore loud and I sleep with my mouth open, pause, and I could just feel a twinge, right here. I could feel a twinge as I'm asleep. I don't know how if that's even possible. I don't know if anybody has ever had that. You felt a twinge in your sleep, in your throat while you're sleeping. A hint of cold was in the air. And woke up and got in the bathroom, Gertie, brushed my teeth, and when you clear your throat first thing in the morning, you might have phlegm or whatever. I said, oh shit. I said, oh, where's my voice? And it had that froggy. This is even not even Gen X, but from Little Rascals, I had that going on. It's worse. It's worse 2 days ago than it is today. There was a moment that episode 101 wasn't going to be recorded or wasn't going to take place because I was like, I don't think I got the voice for it. And I never thought I would be the type of cat that would be like, I can't speak. I can't now understand singers and folks that use microphones, that use their voice, MCs, radio, podcasters. Like, damn, I forgot. I'm like, I might have to take care of my voice. Because if I can't put out an episode, y'all ain't gonna tune in. I can't get to the views that I've gotten, and I got the stats. I get the stats all the time, but I'm very pleased with the growth. Even at episode 101, that Taking Those Shorts has guiding me. That has the folks that have been rocking with me, the folks that know me. I was going to do. Let me finish up because I'm getting long-winded and not getting to the rest of the pod. But so yeah, I was just like, oh God, how am I going to get through this? So yesterday, I thought I was going to just let it slide and just say, hey, maybe, it'll just last a day and it'll go away. And I woke up this morning and I was just like, nah, still. And I'm explaining, people are looking at me when I'm going to the office, and I have to preface everything by saying I lost my voice. Now, it got better. It's like, I know people that really, really lost their voice, and it's almost like a whisper. But, yeah, it's coming back to me. And so, nothing, a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of yak. This is tea, that the lemon juice, lemon and tea and honey is helping me get through episode 101. You did?
Exactly.
Thank you, Coach. Now, what is Jay Grizzy Taking Those Shorts with it tonight at episode 101? You might be wondering. Man, I had no idea, honestly, up until maybe 10, 15 minutes before I hit record or hit live for this stream. And I'll go ahead and say this. If you go back, say, 10, 15 episodes, a year ago this time, I was heavily invested into the presidential election of 2024 between Vice President Kamala Harris and the ex-president. And I was so entrenched based off of, honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you guys, the media and the mainstream media and even the blogs and the podcasters and all that had me in my feelings.
Exactly.
This time last year, I don't even think Kamala, Vice President Harris, took over. It was after, it might have been around this time last year, first week of August, end of July. But I know one thing. It was after the Biden debate, the Biden debacle, say that 8 times with a hoarse, sore throat. The Biden debacle, and then the transition to Kamala, and then the assassination attempt on the ex-president. So that all happened probably in a 6 to 8 week time period. And now me being an American history studier, observant, and a history major in college, I knew, I always knew we were living in historical times, but that's hard to say when you're in the present. You know, most historians need years afterwards, maybe a generation, sometimes 2, for you to be able to look back and commentate on the past in a historical way. But being that that's the area where I came from as far as studying wise, I said, man, we are living in some historical and wild, as Steve Martin would say, wild and crazy. It's another Gen X reference. Look it up.
Exactly.
Y'all don't know. I don't even know if the young folks know who Steve Martin is nowadays. But, and I said to him, so those 3 things happen. A sitting president has a brain fart on national TV during a debate. That's news. Then they replace him with the sitting vice president. And then the ex-president that's running for a second term against the current president has an assassination attempt. And then you throw in all of this conspiracies and social media and I'm saying to myself, God, this is awesome.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
It was real hard. It was real easy, I'm sorry, for me to say that, baby. And especially after the November results, I immediately checked out. And when I say checked out, I'm talking about politics, mainstream media. And I was like, if it wasn't sports related or something immediately that I had is it niche or niche? If I had a niche for, I wasn't consuming that shit, at all. I didn't need that type of energy in my life at that time, to be honest with you guys, because the way I got stirred up, it was just like, I could see how people emotions could get, how Tommy Rich say, somebody say, fired up. Let's get fired up. And with that being said, like, I fast forward a year later, the election has happened, inauguration has happened, and we're 6 months in. So this is going to be, short of last summer and last fall, one of the most political episodes Jay Grizzy Green has ever done at Taking No Shorts podcast.
Exactly.
I am going to give you my, hopefully, not just, I ain't going to be taking no shorts, man. I know that's the name of the podcast, but because I'm a host, sometimes I have to be, I got guests, and I want to be a good host to my guests, and I don't want to, rattle on the feathers or step on no toes. But unless the homie B is here, he's like, yo, B will remind me in a minute as a fellow horseman. He's like, yo, man, what you doing? We don't take no shorts. And so this whole let me set it up for you. Allow me to, ladies and gentlemen, because this country, this country they just can't get past. It's two pillars to the U.S. in my opinion right now. They can't get past their racism, and they can't get past I can't say capitalist, but they greed or greed/fear. And I think the thing that gets racism and greed together is fear. That's the thing that sticks them together. So how Radio Raheem said, you got love, you got hate. Love is he ain't had nothing in between because he had to fight. But I'm just giving y'all a do the right thing analogy. America lately over the last say 40 years, 30 years, is they can't let go of racism. And I say they meaning the majority of Americans in the United States by ethnic and by racial makeup. They cannot let go of their ignorance and racism. And most of those same percentage of people, because they have all the riches in the country and let alone the world, the elites, quote unquote, and that fear links them both. They can't let go neither. And it's just a perpetual, social media definitely doesn't help it, but it's a perpetual motion of the rich white guys are pretty much inherently racist. And they got this fear that if they McScrooge, McDuck, they money, then nobody that don't look like us can have it. And it puts it almost like at this pyramid type thing. And if you want to take racism out of it, okay, let's just do the rich, the haves and the have-nots, that type of thing. But I can't, because I'm a black man, I can't let that slide, and I can't let America off like that easy.
Exactly.
And so here comes the charlatan who, as much as of a charlatan he is, he's very smart, and he surrounds himself with people, because I can't call them smart or him, but they know the game. And they know, especially when you know the game, you know how to play the game. I'm using a Triple H reference. You know how to play the game when you know the game, inside and out. Especially if you playing the game from and I'm using an analogy from the upper echelon. It's different if you learn the game and you know the game and you getting it from the bottom, like a lot of us do. We get the game and we catch up to it. You dig? I'm getting on my pimp and shit. Nah, I'm just. But that's how you get it from the bottom up. But it's a different type of game if you're getting it from the top, because if you get the game from the top, then you can disseminate it to the folks downstream.
Exactly.
And that don't make you necessarily intelligent. That just make you savvy, is what I'll say. Is what I'll give him and his ilk. His friends. They savvy. And so once Barack Obama came into office and challenged that whole money and racism thing, yeah, I've said it on my podcast and plenty of podcasts, y'all. This is what happened. America can't. That's why I say they can't get by. They can't get by. You thought that they got by in 2008, but the same people, and this is an indictment on young folk. 12 years ago, or 2008 was what 70. God Jesus, 2008 was 17 years ago.
Talking about practice.
So if you were 18 when you got a chance to vote in 2008, you 35 now. And I don't believe this shit when they say there's an Obama, that guy voter. I don't understand how you can be an Obama voter as a young adult in 2008. And if there's anybody that's like that, and then in 2020 or 2016, 8 years later, and 12 years later, you say, oh, I want to vote for that guy after you voted for an '08 for Obama as a young person. That's why I say some of the, some shit is just fugazi. But here we are. And so America said, yeah, we want that guy, whether we asked for him or not. And even when America said, no, we don't want that guy no more, he tried and came damn near close to overthrowing the U.S. government. Let me say that again. I saw with my eyes, working from home on January 6, 2020, I saw a speech by the outgoing president of the United States telling 50,000, I don't know, I'm 50 to 100,000 of his supporters to, if we don't fight, and I'm paraphrasing, we're not going to have a country. The Homeland and all of the law enforcement people were on the radio saying there's folks walking in here with long arms and rifles and I saw this. I saw this. This is not hearsay. This is not something that I'm making up. And how strong of the hate that folks will say, yeah. Some folks did. They got scared because their ass was on the line. Their ass was fitting to catch a beat down. So the senator from South Carolina, the senior senator from South Carolina was like, nope, I'm out. And then he went through the airport in D.C. and almost caught a fade.
Exactly.
He said, I better change my tune quick. What are we dealing with here? Some type of criminology, crime family type, syndicate type shit? Is that what we dealing with? Are we going to let the rule of law just go out the window? Some folks will be like, yeah, let that. He said something to the effect of, maybe we need, like the purge. Maybe we need, like, a couple of nights. He said one night of a really bad night. There's some shaking going down. And I'm like, what's this supposed, am I old, am I old, has my age gotten me? And young people, where the hell are y'all? Short of the people, I think the gun, the anti NRA kid, I don't want to call him a kid because he's an adult now, but he was a student at the South Florida shooting in the 2000 teens, and he was like, I'm gonna go to Congress and I'm gonna lobby. And he got some political oomph. I think they might have got, when I say they, I think the machine might have got to him too. And he was like, yo, I got to play the machine to get to affect the change that I want to have. You know, because I see him, you know, just my opinion. It's not. It may not be true. I want. Hey, yo, you cannot tell me that you don't want kids to be protected while they're in school, man, from school shootings. That's just. Anyway, where are we? Where are the young folks rising up, marching? The internet, the social media got y'all so zombied out that y'all don't know that they have raised your rents 50%. The powers that be, your food prices, your everything, kept you in the house for a year and a half, 2 years, or a year. I don't know how long you stayed in the house during COVID, and then come out of it with all of this BS. Y'all need to be showing up if you got a chance to vote, young people, and vote your interest and not against it. So I fast forward now. Here we are, 6, 7, almost, 7 months into this new president's second term. And the media, the mainstream, and even the news stream, like the podcast is in that, like y'all are just rediscovering the connection between Jeffrey Epstein and this guy. Because where was the connection when he was on trial for sexual assault in a civil suit in New York? Where was this connection when, I mean, out of all the stuff this guy has done, where's all the ridicule and the connection to this Jeffrey Epstein guy?
A bullshit?
Now y'all back on it. And then when y'all back on it, really, they are like, not just the conspiracy theorists and the YouTubers and the TikTokers. They the ones doing the investigations. Forget the fact that that guy's in power. He's not going to investigate himself. His buddies are not going to investigate. And there's probably people over him that's telling them not to let that. But here's one thing for sure, two things for certain. You know, there's breadcrumbs everywhere. You just got to look for them. You got to find them. You can't cover it all up. If you ate up all the cookies and snuck back upstairs, motherfucker, you left some crumbs somewhere. And if it doesn't, I'm just a Black Gen X podcaster, you dig?
Exactly.
Giving y'all my opinion, and I'm asking y'all to like, share, and subscribe to Takin No Shorts Pod, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. But all this stuff been out there. And America was like, yeah, so why is y'all, and when I say y'all, and that's, you know, I'm not even going to say forgive my accent. I talk like I talk. But his supporters now are all of a sudden like, what?
A bullshit?
And I'm like,
Perfect.
y'all get what you thought that man was gonna do. Y'all following a faker. Like, the devil ain't gonna never save you from yourself. That is just crazy to me that especially Joe Rogan and Andrew Schultz, and these podcasters, Candace Owens, and these MAGA podcasters, is like, what? Like, y'all y'all, look, I know y'all just doing it for the bag, but y'all ain't got no fucking morals. None. Have no balls. And for MAGA men of that ilk, because there's different type of MAGA men, but these guys, that's not where I come from. That's not manly at the tit of a sucker. You know? Platforming shit that ain't had no business platforming for a bag. Because just as much, I bet you, if the other side was to come at you with a bag, you'd have did the same thing. So where you draw your line at? You ain't no different than the rest of them. But you out there tell your audience, and you got a machine behind you and everything to get your audience to click and share and subscribe, just like I'm trying to do. But at least I got a line, bro. I got a line. And it ain't for a bag. You know, that don't make me poor. That don't make me rich. Because you can have all the money in the world to entertain yourself with, but if you getting it from a whole ass motherfucker, if you getting it from the, or they making you compromise your morals just for a bag, you'll go out there and say anything. You'll say anything. And that's why in the beginning, when this podcast space, especially during COVID, took over, I was listening to a lot of shit. And then as they got into the deeper episode, they get into episode 2, 3, 4, 400s, and I'm looking at the guests that they bringing on and whatever, because the algorithms say they got to keep that shit going. I'm looking at the people that they bringing on. I'm like, I can't watch this shit. Y'all are talking crazy. Y'all is talking crazy. I remember I saw Lil Duval on, and I'm a Lil Duval fan, but I saw Lil Duval chilling, smoking. You know, I hope he ain't think that was a good look on Joe Rogan. I hope he ain't think that was a good look. I know Charlamagne the God, he friends with Andrew Schultz. I hope, bro, and they still do business together. They still do pods together. What you think about that man now? Is it business or is your friend? And even if it's business, I can't do business with somebody that ain't that probably when I'm not around calling you a straight nigga to his white boyfriends. You see what I mean? And you probably know it, but what you gonna do? Like my man, he said you got two things you're gonna do, and I put out the link, ad today on my socials. Like when the N-bomb come off by somebody from a white person to you, there's two things you can do. You can either squabble or you can just, walk away with your feelings, in your feelings. I don't know. I'm not gonna be in my feelings. Not over that. I'll be over some feelings over some other shit, but not over that. Got me fucked up. And so this Epstein stuff, like, there's no way that y'all folks can think like it's not what y'all think happened. 9 times out of 10, what you think happened probably happened. 9 times out of 10. That man everything I'm about to say is alleged. So I don't get myself in trouble and I have to lawyer up because there's going to be a lot of litigation until the next election. Got to fix the microphone. Sorry. But yeah. That man was probably allegedly a spy. 9 times out of 10. 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 9 times out of 10 because they don't know where he got his money from. And the people they say he got his money from, and when I say they, I'm talking about law enforcement, special investigators, government. They all connected. And I'm definitely a black Gen Xer now, and I definitely believe that there's a certain, in my lifetime, I've noticed every tax bracket I had moved into, I was dealing with different people when I think about it over my money-making years. I run into different people, different rooms. So you don't think that that type of bread don't put you in a certain circle where you running around with. And I do not doubt, especially that kind of folk. I saw some, I think D.L. Hughley put it out, or he shared it on his platform. You know, since the white man always want to say that crime, the black man and the African-American community is crime-ridden and got high numbers of crime. Well, let's talk about the percentage of people who are child molesters and predators. Let's look that up. The percentage of the population that participate in sex trafficking. Let's look that up. You never see those things splashed upon your screen every day. You don't see no PSA commercials or from the ad council. God, I don't even know if the ad council is around no more. When I grew up, don't give a hoot, don't pollute, smoke it bad, those type of things.
Exactly.
Those public service announcements, PS. You know, where did I? Oh, I thought I took my microphone out again. There's a lot going on down here, guys. I'm working a board and everything else. So if I sit up straight, y'all will see. But yeah, like, why? What? Where's? So the profile fits. You know, if you want to base it off of statistics, well, 80% of child predators look like that guy. Now, in the economic background, you know, that may vary, but who's to say that it might work across the board? Might work across the board in that respect. So the evidence is all out there. And we still hemming and hawing and wondering what's, you know, the news media, the, you know, social media, when the next thing. This is all, to me, in my opinion, guys, this is a reality. We in a reality TV show type, Matrix type shit that he done created, and the media's in on it because they run it. If I remember, they let go of Joy Reid from MSNBC right after the election, and they said her numbers was down, and that's why they let her go. That's
A bullshit? A bullshit?
She had, short of Rachel Maddow, the #2 show on that network. So that was a lie. And they, right after the election, that morning show guy and his wife, they took their silly asses down to Florida to kiss the ring after that other guy won. And even the white folk was like, yep, that's it. Even the white liberal was like, nope, that's it. I'm not fucking with y'all no more. But that is, you know, that's when, I mean, I was cutting it off then. They ratings is in the tank. But they quick to do some investigative research. You know, and I'm gonna give a shout out. You know who I've seen do the best investigative research lately is Pablo Torre,
Exactly.
a sports journalist, and he has a show on YouTube, his show, and he called out the NFL PA or the football players union for being in cahoots with the owners. But the reason that got out is because he did investigative. Jeez. There we go. Me and this Mike gonna fight tonight. It's either crooked, it's never upright. It's supposed to be up here, but I'm gonna put it right here because it's supposed to be. I'm looking up the monitor over there, guys, so I apologize. But he done the best. Probably gonna win the Pulitzer this year, as opposed to plenty of journalists. And he's hiring and elevators and stuff. Like, they timing you like that, man. And for what? Same thing with the rideshare folks. They timing y'all like, for what? Y'all need and young folks, y'all need to get y'all balls back. Now, I'm going to say this. The boomers and the Gen Xers, I'm going to say more of the boomers. I ain't going to put,
Exactly.
the Xers is like, yo, I'm going to tell you, for real, because my kids, I have a millennial son, and I got one millennial son and 2 Gen Z sons. And I break them down like that because they got different attitudes. And I've always impressed upon them to be civically engaged, you know? And I'm a man, a dad that's been in their life from the womb. And they like, for what? It ain't going, they so disenchanted. Even with their dad telling them, hey, you know, care about your people, care about your community, do the right thing, work hard, you'll get ahead, you know, get the MC, get in, you know, buy the America. I'm giving them all this sucker shit, and that's my bad. I was also giving them some game at the same time, but that sucker shit, that's my bad. I'm gonna take that one.
Exactly.
That nigga's tripping.
Yeah, thank you, Westbrook. That's my bad. Cause as I got older and I started seeing, I was like, yo, when my wife showed me the grocery bill, I was like, something ain't right. And as they was giving out those stimulus checks, I'm like, they coming back for that, y'all. They coming back for all that. I don't want to say shit. I don't think this shit is planned. Like, I'm not that type of conspiracy guy. Matter of fact, I'm never a conspiracy guy. I don't think nothing happens by, happenstance sometimes either. But what I know is that this thing is funneling up to the top so much on some authority. Look what they doing with the immigration. What country do we live in? And we all know, black folk all know that this is not the by far not perfect. By far got plenty of faults. By far racism exists in pretty much every aspect. Even in sports, when it comes to the owners and other sports leagues and stuff like that, so we know what it is. But did the civil rights era let us know 50, 60 years later that it was going to be like this? I said back in the summer, once that election was over, that's y'all fight. Leave us out of it. That's y'all fight. Leave us out of it. But I know that if the people that stand up for just decency first. If you got to look up the word decency and know what decent being a decent human being mean, then me and you, we there's nothing for us, me and you, to talk about, motherfucker.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna call you, motherfucker, to your face. So let's start there. Now, once you're decent, then you could be a decent human being. You could be decent to your neighbor. Now, let's say your socioeconomic background doesn't allow you to have a neighbor that look like you. So, you see what I'm saying? That goes for us as well. If we in the hood, be decent. Let's start there. The decency is out the window. You know, if you allow me to pull up a web browser of any person, including me, there's some horrible shit out there. But we have devolved our society to something that now we are talking about a convicted felon that's sitting in the most powerful position on this planet, was elected a convicted felon. That's one thing. On top of all the other heinous things that is on tape that he has said, grab her by the, they said, nope, we're going to vote for him. So that telling me like something ain't right. That's why, you know, after each election, it gets real quiet around when I walk around some of y'all. It's like, y'all, I can feel the shame. I can feel it. I can feel like, you know, some of you, now, to be fair, some of y'all, you know, literally will paint your whole house red and put MAGA on your roof and all that. And that's fine if you want to do that too. At least I know where you stand, my dog. But there's some of y'all that, especially in the workplace I work with, you smile and kiki and all that, but I know what it is. And because I know what it is, I sit there and say, okay, I'm decent. I'm going to be decent. I'm going to show you better. You have no capacity. Once you vote for someone that has said what he said and has done what he's done and what has alleged what he's done, all bets off. You're not a decent human being. And so what Hillary said was right. And y'all got mad because she called y'all out. A bunch of deplorables. And it's nothing you can do with them. They gonna feel like that, whether you reach out to them or not. That's what they showing you as of the summer, July 31st, 2025. I don't know how this whole Epstein thing gonna play out. They got the chick that's about to get his cohort in jail. How you get the attorney general, the assistant attorney general? That's a high-ranking government office. Go down and negotiate with a child sex trafficker. If you take what I just said, put it in a tape, and ship it back to whatever date prior to 2010, y'all be like, what the fuck is y'all doing in the future? And it probably ain't gonna get no better. You know, I hate to say it, it's gonna probably get worse before it get back, because when you eat something real terrible, you got to shit it all out. You can't just shit a little bit, because that's what y'all did, white folk. Y'all shit a little bit out, and it didn't get it all the way out. You got to get it all, because, again, it's not our fight. Y'all got to get beyond the fear, the racism, and the money. Y'all got to get beyond that, man. Otherwise, y'all going to affect us, but y'all going to burn just like everybody else is. Some fatalistic motherfuckers. Yo, I don't know what it is. Like it's like, yeah, to me it's like some fatalism. That's another word for it. You know, the left would call it anarchy, but nah, this is not anarchy. These motherfuckers want to burn the whole world. And just like Tribe said in their last album, they trying to lead the planet. I forgot how the lyric go. They trying to find a whole new place. White folk trying to find a whole new place to live and leave everybody else that don't look like them. That's how much that shit got them. It's a disease, man. And if y'all don't fess at that shit, if y'all don't take some Pepto-Bismol for that shit, y'all gonna kill everything. I ain't even get into all of what I wanted to get into tonight, but that's it for now, y'all. Episode 101 is a wrap. Let me, before I wrap up, let me first thank some people that came and did episode 100 for me. That's out now on YouTube and Facebook, celebrating 100 episodes. Really, guys, we got more episodes out there. A lot of stuff ends up on the cutting room floor before I put it out in the interwebs. But let me first thank my homeboy Brent, fellow Four Horseman, my college roommate.
Exactly.
Always a guy, a loyal guy that's in my corner, even when I'm acting up. So I appreciate you, Brent. Also, my homeboy Tim, the light-skinned Alpo. I love you, bro. Had a great conversation with him today. Appreciate you coming through, man. And sitting in the chair while I had to take a bathroom break. If y'all don't know what that is, he shared some bathroom stories between me and him back in the day. That was, I'll just leave that there. Also, shout out to my wrestling tag team, my podcasting tag team, brother Marcus J, host of Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J on Legacy Internet Radio. He is retired from that. Now he's living his best life as a yogi. But whenever I put out the bat signal, he comes through. He drops some jewels. He, do his Marcus J thing. So I appreciate you, bro. Also, Dory. Dory came through. Me and Dory make money together.
Exactly.
And she's been away for a while. But I said, yo, man, I'm doing episode 100. You want to come through? She was like, yeah. And she came through. It was very loud as usual, Dory was. But thank you, Dory. Thank you for helping me get this thing off the ground. Being a great co-host back in those early days of Taking No Shorts Pod. Thanks to Joe Boo Bots, VA Skates, Joseph Yates, fellow stand-up comic. I'm a former stand-up comic. He's still performing. But Joe's a good guy, man. He's a funny guy. Reminds me of me when I was starting to do stand-up back in the early 2000s, late 2000s and early 2000 teens. Anytime I call him, he's like, yeah, man, I'll come through, Joe. I can't imitate you, Joe. But we got a lot of comedy. We got comedy and wrestling. And then those two things, man, we get along. So hopefully you come back again, Joe. Last but not least, the producer of the first lot of episodes of Taking No Shorts podcast, 804E.
Exactly.
E came through. I called him and was just like, yo, man, come through. He come through, black and mild. He got the bling on, got the shades. Your music producer, videographer, and all that. Cook. I met this man. Man had like 7. I thought it was West Indian. He had so many jobs, but a good guy, good man, family man, and I appreciate you, E, for coming through, man. Appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, guys. I can't say this enough. If there's anything doing this podcast that you rock and want to help me get to 100 subscribers. It's just 100. Triple digits. I've been in double digits quite a while. So I started focusing more on my YouTube. So I'm asking you to help me by the end of August get to triple digits, just 100 subscribers. So if you see this on my Facebook, Twitch, or Instagram, just go over to youtube.com/ at Taking No Shorts Pod. Give me that subscribe. That's how they say, smash that subscribe button. And what do you know? I might have a plaque or something up here with all of this good stuff with the help of this great listening audience, y'all. Well, that's my time, guys. Make sure you follow me at JGrizzo. That's JAYGRIZZO on TikTok. And TikTok is Taking No Shorts Pod. I'm trying to get that up too. But on Instagram and I am out.
We talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
Now I gotta talk, we all gotta be quiet. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
And now your host, Taking No Shorts podcast, Jay Grizzy.